So here's Scotty having a crack at Albo about not answering direct questions about whether taxes will rise under Labor or not. And it's absolutely fantastic. Scotty goes full bore moron, and then watch the clip of his own treasurer fudging the question. It's fucking beautiful to watch the duplicity of these pricks.
He was asked point blank, there on the Today Show, will you increase taxes? Not just once, not just twice, but on 3 times he was asked, will you increase taxes? Fudged it, couldn't answer it. Well, let me be very clear, because it's a very simple question to answer.
Well, it seems it's obviously not that simple, Scotty, because here's your treasurer on Insiders being questioned about exactly the same point. Will you increase taxes, change, or whatever? And he doesn't seem to be able to answer it either.
So the Prime Minister says there'll be no increase in taxes, no new taxes if you're re-elected. Does that mean you're ruling out any further tax reform for the next 3 years?
There's the question, which when analysed means, are you going to increase or change taxes in any way whatsoever? David Spears conveniently uses the word reform, taxes, not increase or decrease, but reform. But it's the same question. This is exactly the same question they asked Albo, just using different words.
Well, the tax reform that we've undertaken is actually cut taxes, like abolishing a full tax bracket at 37 cents in the dollar, seeing 95% of taxpayers pay a marginal rate of no more than 30 cents in the dollar between $45,000 and $200,000. Our plan was set out in the budget on Tuesday night. It was a plan for lower taxes. It will see a $420 top-up to the low and middle income tax offset, which will see 10 million Australians benefit. There was also a cutting of the fuel excise in half.
Let's just be very clear here that income tax, whether it goes up or down, is not relative necessarily. It's the total tax take. And under the coalition governments, in the recent 2 decades, they have been the highest taxing governments. It's a fact. It's on record. It's on government records. They are the highest taxing governments. And also, the last thing that he mentioned was the fuel excise is only happening for 6 months. That's a discount to get your vote, nothing else.
There was also a $120 tax deduction for small businesses that invest in new technology.
Blah, blah, blah. On it goes, which is basically David Spears letting Josh Frydenberg make a political advert out of the Insider's show, but Josh never answers the question. Luckily, Spears does come back in and try and get the answer. This is after minutes of Josh being allowed to rave on.
Okay, well, let's try and stick to your plans. What you're planning for the next 3 years. Are you ruling out any further tax reform?
Well, we've undertaken significant structural tax reform.
I'm just asking about the next 3 years.
And
when the Prime Minister says no new taxes, no tax increases, does that mean no tax reform?
Well, what I'm saying is our tax reform.
So as not to waste precious time, you can see where it's going. Josh does not and will not answer the question because they're lying to you. They are going to increase taxes. They have to, in one form or other, whether it's income tax or excises or whatever else. They must, because we are $1 trillion in debt. It's as simple as that.
What is your definition of tax reform? What's the Liberal definition of tax reform? Are you ruling out any changes in the next 3 years?
Are you ruling out any changes in the next 3 years? It's a simple question, Josh.
The Liberal definition of tax reform is a simpler tax system, a fairer tax system, and lower taxes. That's what we have delivered on everything from small businesses to households.
Josh, because you're a Liberal, you should be used to spreadsheets and colour coding. Blue is you guys, all right? Just so you know. You're the highest taxing government.
Fairer taxes could include increasing some and decreasing others.
Well, if you look at our big signature stage 3 tax reform, what that has done is it's maintained the progressive nature of our tax system.
And to quote Scotty, well, no, let's actually use Scotty, because what Josh just did is exactly what Scott's trying to accuse Albo about. Geez, these guys are mindless. They think you're dumb.
Fudged it, couldn't answer it. Fudged it, couldn't answer it. Fudged it, couldn't answer it.
Mr. Ploppy.